Who took the money?
If I this, can we get
Yes, I can hear you.
on? We are going to begin soon. While those join us, begin. Okay. We're welcome. You're welcome. I can see we are still joining. Please, if you are yet to join, quickly join so that we can begin. I will give you extra 2 minutes to do that. By 3:07, we are going to kick off. Connected as in this Okay. Okay. Yeah. Good afternoon, everybody. Once again, uh, you're welcome to today's.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Okay. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Um, okay. You're welcome to today's workshop. Um, like we earlier mentioned, it's going to be purely hands-on. Okay, and we're going to see the practical aspect of some of what we began yesterday. So stay very tuned and try not to be distracted. Um, as usual, note down your questions. We are going to be making use of our tools from now. So any of them that you didn't get what I did, what I'll be doing, simply draw me back or send down the question. I will attend to that afterwards. Okay, so we are going to begin while I share my screen. Okay, yesterday we were able to um, uh, download our protein and our ligand. I hope we can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
I can go ahead then. So yesterday we were able to procure our ligand and then our protein for docking. Okay. From today we are going to tidy up the remaining steps in that and then perform docking immediately so that you will see and then go ahead to carry out some post-docking analysis. Yeah, please, if you're entering in or joining, kindly mute yourselves because Sarah, please help us and
Bye back over. Why? Because it's going to cut, and if my system falls, it is doing damages. So do will take money.
please, Sarah,
I'm
please
so scared right
help
now.
us mute yourselves.
Scared for my life. Yeah, see that.
I'm not sure it's going to come short.
See, everywhere is just stretching and stretching. Yeah, it's stretching.
Okay, please, very sorry about that. We will continue. Okay, so like I mentioned yesterday, we've been able to get our protein from what you can see on my screen. We cleaned the protein from our discovery studio, and then our ligand that were prepared, clean for further docking. So in this particular section, we are simply going to, dock our ligand or our compound, which is quercetin, against this anti-diabetes or diabetes implicated protein, yeah, which has an ID number of PDB-ID of 1ACJ, okay, which is also called acetylcholinesterase. So in today's section, we're going to start by the last stage of the preparation, and then we will commence the docking and post-docking analysis. So to continue from where we stopped yesterday, we have to open one of our tools again, which we are going to use for preparation. And this tool is Orthodox Vena. Okay. The tool is Orthodox Vena. If you have installed yours, if you go to your desktop, you will find that as Orthodox tool. Okay, that is exactly the tool we are going to be making use of. When you click it, it will load this way. Okay, immediately it's done loading, it will load the interface where we are supposed to work with. Okay. Okay. Okay, so immediately it's done loading, kindly click remind me later. Okay. Don't go for register, just click remind me later, and then this will load. Okay. So when this loads, this is what you have as the interface of the tool. Okay. For many of us that have installed that, you discover that. Okay. So when it loads, you will find an interface as this. By your top right and so by your top right and you're going to see file, 3D view graphics and all that. Okay. So in the course of this, we are just going to be making use of some of them, while on your own you can make use of the rest. Okay. First thing we do here is to load in our protein, which we cleaned up yesterday. Okay, we have to start by loading in our protein, which was cleaned yesterday. Okay, so to load in the protein, we'll simply go to the option titled file. Okay, just like every other software, when you have your file, that is where you load in the protein. Okay, you open the file and then locate your folder and load in the protein. So we simply go to file, open the file. You will see options like read molecule, read section, import, and all that. What we are using here is read molecule. Okay, please note that you click on read molecule. And when you click on read molecule, it will take you to your folder. So it's at this point that you have to navigate to your directory or your folder where you store your clean protein, which we started with yesterday. So to simply do this, I will go to this is my directory. So I'll have to change it. Mine is in the download. So I'll click on this option up here, and then I can locate download, which is this. Then I'll click on download, and then these will show. Okay. Among these is the workshop tutorial document. So I'll have to scroll up. So this is workshop or document tutorial file. This is the file we've been working with, or I created yesterday for the sake of this. So you have your document tutorial file, which is where our protein is. So I will open it. When I open it, these are our three working tools here. So this is the clean protein. So remember what you are loading here is the clean protein, not the one you downloaded directly from the internet. So you are loading the clean protein from here. So I will simply click on the clean protein, you double click on it, and then it loads. So when that loads, this is what you are going to have. Okay. If you click and drag, you can move it around. This is how it will appear when you load it in your Autodoc tool. Okay. So after this loading here, we are simply going to number one, get the protein ready for the next step, which is docking step. And there are a few things that are going to be needed in making or getting this protein ready, ranging from addition of charges, okay, addition of hydrogen bonds, which are usually polar hydrogen bonds, and then what we call generation of the grid box or grid setup. Grid setup is a box that will direct your ligand where it's supposed to bind to this particular protein. Okay, the grid setup will help you direct the ligand. That is where side-directed docking comes into play. So the grid box, wherever you set the grid box to be, that is where the docking is going to take place. Just like a coordinate. Yeah, the coordinate have X, Y, Z, Z, which you are going to see and because of that. So the first thing we do here is to color this protein we just loaded here so that while we are adding charges and all that, we should be seeing that reflect because of the color. So if you look by your left, you will see some options here, okay? Among what you see, if you look at where my cursor is now, you look at where my cursor is, you will see some options here where you have S, L, B, C, R, M, S, L, and CL. The CL here simply means your color. Okay, so which is where we are interested in now. These other options here are just trying to tell you the renderings you can apply in this particular protein. Take for instance, if I click on this C here, which is by highlighting under this protein, if I click on this box here, look at what he has done to my protein. So he has simply given me another rendering of the protein. However, it's not of great interest to us here. So I'm just trying to tell you that is what it stands for. So I can highlight it by clicking again. However, we came here to add color here so that while we are making some changes, the colors will be reflecting. So I'll simply go under color, the last triangle. If you click on it or if you take your, you leave your mouse on top of it, it's going to say something like display coloring menu. Okay, that is what it's supposed to. So I'll click once and then there'll be a pop down menu. In this pop down menu, I'll simply tell it color my atom, color my protein by atom type. Okay, it should go by what color that by what atom type. So I'll highlight on that, and then of course you saw what happened at the interface here. The colors are changed where the ash color represents our carbon, the red color represents our oxygen, the blue color represents our nitrogen, and all that. Okay, while the white color represents hydrogen. And also I can close this and change the color. So that is the first thing I did here. Then the second thing is now to add one or two other things to this protein which I've mentioned earlier. The first thing we're going to add is we're going to add the charges. Okay, I mentioned earlier in protein interaction, charges are very, very necessary. So the first thing we do here is to add charge to our protein. These charge, some of them may have been lost at the cost of structural elucidation. Okay, during the process of X-ray diffraction crystallographic elucidation, there could be some charges that are lost at that process. So in trying to dock as well, you make every effort to add those charges which might have been lost at the process of elucidation of the structure. So in charges, remember you go to edit, then you come down to charges, and then under charges, you have about two major forms of charge you could add to this. You either add Kroman charge or you add by computing Gantt figure. Okay, these are two different algorithms targeted at having the same purpose, okay, or doing the same purpose. So compute Gantt charge can do this or does the same purpose as add Kroman charge. However, at the cost of this workshop, we're going to make use of compute Gantt charge. That's what I majorly use in my docking research. So I'll simply click on compute Gantt charge. And then it will tell me that the total Gantt figure charge added is 0.0038. Okay, I'll simply click OK. It has told me that some charges have been added. I say that's fine. So we've ended up adding the charge. Okay, the next thing we are going to add is the hydrogen atom. Okay, because we are going to add hydrogen atom now, remember at the cost of elucidation as well, some of these hydrogen atoms might be lost, especially the polar ones. Yeah, we need the polar ones for this interaction to be very, very visible. So the next we are going to do here is add the hydrogen charge. If you are going to be very observant enough, added to this structure after the hydrogen, you will find some whitish small additions at the different ends of the protein here. Those whitish colors are what we call the hydrogen atoms or the hydrogen group there. So to do that, I'll simply go to my select and my edit as well. Remember, we use our edit to make this. I'll go to edit and then I'll come down to we've done addition of charges, then we'll go to hydrogen. Okay, I'll simply click on what add hydrogen. When you place your cursor on hydrogen, this option is going to pop out. So you simply go to what add hydrogen. Okay, so I'll click on add hydrogen. And then it will ask me, am I adding all the hydrogen or am I just adding the polar one? Yeah, in this case, we might not need all the charges. So we simply add the polar ones. The polar ones are the ones going to be involved in the interaction. So adding all other processes might end up overpopulating your structure. So we simply highlight or select the polar only, polar hydrogen only. Okay. So that is taken. I can hit OK. If you notice at the structure, there are some whitish groups that have been added to the structure. Those whitish components are what we call the hydrogen bonds. Okay, so I've been able to add my hydrogen. I've been able to add my charges, which is what most times were lost because of structural illustration. Okay, so the next thing I do is to go to my grid. This time I'm done with edit. I've edited the protein to my own test. I've added what were originally missing after my download. So I'll simply go to grid this time around. Okay, the grid option is simply located below on the third row or immediately after the interface where your protein is located. This is your protein. If you go just upwards, you see ligand, flexible array group, and then grid. So we are on the grid now. Okay. Can we still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Are we following me at all?
Yes, we are trying to catch up. We are catching up.
Yes, we are trying to follow you.
Okay. I hope I'm not doing too fast. Or am I doing too fast?
It's okay.
Okay. Please, I'm just trying to be as elaborate as possible so that we could capture all that we really need to capture because of this. Okay, so we can continue from here if we are all hearing me, or we all can hear me. Okay, so the next thing we go for is to add the pre-order setup that we need to make here. And I told us that the next step we are going to agree, which is one of the options just below this option. So I'll click on grid. If you click on grid, it will tell you to open DPF file or open macromolecule or set map type or set grid box or this or that. No, we don't want to set any of that up for now. Okay, I'm trying to find those that are joining. Okay, please, if you're joining, kindly mute yourself as you're doing so. Okay, so we've added a hydrogen and hydrogen. So we'll go to grid. If we go to grid, under macromolecule, we are going to choose macromolecule. So those joining, please kindly mute yourself as you're joining. So we'll go to grid. Many are still joining. Okay, please let's continue. So go to macromolecule, go to grid, come down to macromolecule, then come down to choose. Okay, you go to grid, come down to macromolecule, and then come down to choose. I hope we're there. So when we come down to choose, you simply hit on choose. Okay, if you hit on choose molecule, this box will come up at the left end of your screen. You simply tap on the protein, which is labeled 1-ACJ clean protein. You simply tap on it. Okay, if you tap on it, this select molecule will become highlighted. If you don't tap on it, it will turn blue this way. If you click on select molecule, it won't work. Okay, so you first of all tap on it by highlighting it, and then go ahead to click on select molecule. So if I click on select molecule, it will take me to my, okay, first of all, it will tell me that it has initialized my protein here. And then the protein were found to contain no non-bonded atoms. No non-bonded atoms. It means that all my atoms here are properly or rightly bonded, which is how they are supposed to be after editing them. Okay, so I'll simply say okay. If I click OK, it will take me to my directory as well or my folder. So I'm going to locate my protein, which is in my folder. I'm going to locate that folder I'm still working with. You don't just click save. If you click save, you will lose or you will lose the file. So rather, whatever you are saving, make sure you are saving into that particular folder where you have been working with. So this is where I am. I've clicked OK and then we have popped up this menu. If you look down, you discover that in save type, save as type, it has changed to PDBQT, no longer PDB. Okay. Note that orthodox VINA docking or tool for docking only interacts with proteins or ligands in PDBQT format. Okay, very, very important in PDBQT format. If this format changes, it means your orthodox VINA, which you are going to be using soon for the docking, won't accept that format. Okay, so you make sure it's here. It's always this way by default. So any compound or any protein you worked on here, while saving it, to always save as what? As a PDBQT file. So I just noted that. Okay, so
Hello, your voice is breaking.
Your voice is breaking, please. We're no longer hearing you.
Since Zebra has system of maybe data to be asking that. So to save this, we have located our download, and this is my folder page. So I'll simply click on the folder. Okay, and then it will tell me that no item matches here. That's true because I've not saved any document in PDB before in this same folder. So I'll simply go ahead and say save. Okay, yes, I can now click on save. And then it has been saved. Okay, it has been saved. So I can now go ahead with the rest of the steps here. Okay, so the first, can you hear me?
No, it's breaking. It's breaking.
No, it's actually breaking, please. We are not hearing you.
No, we can't hear you.
Okay. Is it better now? Can we hear me now?
It seems not really. It seems your network, the network from your end is not efficient.
Okay, could you, I just want to make sure it's not
Breaking, they can't hear you.
oh. Is it getting better now?
Yes.
So we can hear me better now, right? Infinite.
Infinite +5. Can we get it now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Please add volume. Add volume because we can't hear you very well.
Okay. I'll try to do that. Okay, so mentioned the next thing we are going to be doing here is to set up a grid box. Okay, if you set up a grid box, I mentioned earlier after editing your protein by adding charge and adding hydrogen atoms or hydrogen groups. The next thing is to generate a grid box. A grid box is simply like I mentioned earlier, is a coordinate that directs your ligand where it's going to bind to in your protein or where it's going to be located or docked into in your protein. So to simply do that, I will still go back to the same option, which is grid. Okay, you go to the same option, grid. You click on grid, the same pop-down menu will come. Okay, in this case, you go to set map type. Okay, you go to set map type. Remember what we are doing now, we're trying to set coordinates where our ligand will be docked. So the first option here is to set map type. In setting map type, we set map type directly. Okay. Once you place your cursor on set map type, another option will come in or will pop out where you have directly and the rest. So we are going to click directly. We are setting map type directly. So I'll click on directly. And then at the top left end, there's a little pop-up that will show there. At your top left end, there will be a little pop-up that will show, which will indicate accept or close. Okay, you simply click on the accept. Okay, you simply click on the accept, and that is done. Okay, you have created map type where the grid box is going to be set. The next thing again, we go to the same grid. You click on grid again. We are done with set map type. Rather, we now go to grid box. The next option after set map type is your grid box. That's the third step here. So you click on grid box. If you click on grid box, you will see a pop-up. Okay, and aside the pop-up, you are going to see in your protein there is something like a box that has appeared. Okay, if you double click and drag, you will find out that box is a square shaped box. Okay, that has three major coordinates. Okay, just like a normal square. Normal square has 6 faces of 2 opposite faces being equal. So this is 3 coordinates we have here. And we call this coordinate X, coordinate Y, and coordinate Z. Okay, the same coordinate also has what we call center X, center Y, and center Z. Okay, it's the same thing we call the both. Okay, so if you look at my left end, you will see my options there. You have your number of points in X dimension, in Y dimension, and in Z dimension. You'll notice that if you have any need to alter the shape of this box inside this particular protein, by turning these kind of knobs at your left end will simply change the coordinates of this particular or the shape of this box. Take for instance, if I turn this yellow one, can you see what is happening to that box? Can you see what is happening to that box? Okay, this is exactly what it means. However, by default, it will always come out as 40, 40, 40. Okay, which in most cases, you can leave it by default, which is 40. Also, if you come downwards where you have your spacing algorithm, you also have options where you have X center, Y center, and then Z center. In the same centers as well, just beside that, you will find a knob as well. By increasing the knob also, the shape of the box inside is going to be as well adjusting. Or if you have a set of coordinates already, you have your X, Y, Z coordinates already, which I'm going to show us very soon on site specific, where you now have a particular amino acid you want to target in your protein. In that case, you are looking at site specific. By varying these coordinates here, you are simply directing your ligand to bind or interact with that particular protein. Okay, so by here, we are leaving whatever we have here by default. I hope that is fine. Okay, in addition to leaving it at default, I need to save these options I have here. I need to save it because I'm going to be making use of it later on in this docking process. Yes, I'm going to be making use of that later on. So some people will decide to copy out these values out, but instead of copying it out, you can simply save this setup here of these options here. And then whenever you need that, you simply go and click it and copy whatever you want to copy there. So to save that, I will simply go to my file. By the top left end, you see file. In the same pop-down menu, you're going to see file. So you simply click on file. When you click on file, you see close saving current, close without saving, and output grid dimension file. Okay, so I will go to output grid dimension file. I want to get this dimension, this coordinate saved somewhere so I can make use of it later on. Okay, so I will simply click on output grid dimension file. As usual, it will take me to my folder. Okay, so when it takes me to my folder, the next thing is to locate my directory, which I will go to my download. Okay, this is my download. I'll click on that. In my download, I'm working with docking tutorial files, so I'll click on that. And then, as usual, it will tell me that there is no item found here. Okay, it's so because there is no text file that we have in this folder yet. So whenever you have something like this, don't panic, just go ahead and save your document there. So I will type this as grid dimension file. Okay, which is the dimension of the grid box we just set. So I'll click on what save. Okay, by saving, I've saved these options somewhere, which I'm going to make use of very soon in this process. So I can now close this particular pop-up now. I've seen the grid box and I've saved my options here or my dimension here. So I can go ahead and click that. And then to get that closed, you go to file again and click on file. Then you click on close without saving. You close without saving, please. Okay, we have already saved. Okay, so we can go ahead and click on what close without saving. So I'll click on that, and then it will disappear. It has already, I've already gotten what I'm looking for. Okay, so it can go. So at this point, we are done with the preparation here. Okay, the next thing is simply to output this last product as a GPF file. Yes, there are some tools you might be working with later or anytime in the future that might demand the GPF file of this particular protein you are working with, especially if you're going into some energy calculations as Doc mentioned yesterday. Yeah, there might be need that you will save this output as GPF file. So the last thing we do to our protein is to save the grid or this protein through our grid. You go to your grid as well, click on grid, and then you see your pop-down menu. You can now go to output. Okay, if you go to output, once you place your click on output, you are going to find save as a GPF file. Okay, so I'll click on save GPF file. As usual, it will bring me to this option. So I can now go into my download by clicking on this arrow at the top. So I will locate my download. Your own could be in your download, it could be in your desktop, so it could be anywhere you choose to be. Just make sure you know where it is. Then I'll open my docking file. As well, it will tell me no item matches your size. It means I don't have any GPF file here already, which is okay. So I can go ahead and do what? And click on my save. Okay, so I will save. And then that will be all. So I will save that. Okay, I've not named it. I've not named it. I'll first of all give it a name. I'll give it GPF file. Okay, yeah, I can give it GPF file. If you didn't give it a name, you can't save it, so you have to name it first before you save. So I can click on save now, and then that is saved. So I am done with my protein now, okay, ready for the docking process now. So I can simply highlight on this, then right click to take away this protein. I'm done with protein. I need to bring in my ligand now, okay. However, ligand stone would be as kind of long as this, though. So I will need to take off the protein which I'm done with now, and bring in my next to material or resources, which is ligand. So I'll simply click on this option or this by your left hand, the role for your protein. You simply click on it to turn to yellow. Okay, when it turns to yellow, you simply right click. Okay, if you right click, you see options. Among the options you are going to see there is delete. Okay, don't go and hide the molecule. If you hide the molecule will still be there. Okay, so you simply click on what delete, and then it will go off. So that is the end for protein preparation here. I hope we can still hear me clearly.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we are hearing you, but to tell you the truth, a bit lost.
Okay.
I thought I'm the only one.
Oh, exactly. Same here. Oh.
Seriously
Mr.
lost.
Samson, we are not professionals like you.
Okay.
But my problem
Especially
started
because we don't have
5 minutes.
the protein this thing in our system already.
Okay. Let me go through the process again. How about that?
Okay, mine is that I have my protein. I downloaded 1,2-AC protein, but my challenge is that it has a lot of. It was not cleaned, so it was not bringing out almost everything that yours. Okay, can I continue? I mean, my protein is not clean. So maybe you need to show us how to clean the protein. I know you did it yesterday, but we were not following. So, mine was showing me that it had some hydrogen bonds. So like when we started doing the grid and all the rest, so it will show me a lot of hydrogen bonds. Even the total Gusta value, mine was negative. So it was showing me, I was following that, but different things was popping up.
Okay. Well, in this particular step where we are, I will not advise you to be repeating what I'm doing here exactly the same time. You will certainly get lost. However, the cleaning aspect, I'm going to show you that maybe at the end at the end of today, or I might simply make. I think we're almost done with uploading the video of yesterday's work, so that we can easily go through that section, or you could private chat me later, so that we won't draw many back here. However, you won't catch up if you are exactly following me and trying to replicate the same thing over there. You are going to have your time immediately after the workshop today to repeat what I just taught you. So for now, please just follow us. I'm going to repeat the process again one more time, and then we can continue from here. I hope that is okay by us.
Yeah, it's okay. But should we be repeating what we are doing? I mean, as you are doing it, we should be doing it too.
No, you are not supposed to be doing it. You simply follow. If you can be penning something down, you can go ahead and be penning something down. The major thing is to catch exactly what I'm doing and maybe pen down the few steps. Immediately the workshop is over, you can try to repeat exactly the thing. You need to learn first before you could do that. So if you try to catch up with the two at the same time, you get confused and process.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we can continue now. I'll try to go over it once again, and then we can continue. So like I mentioned, the first thing we do after cleaning your protein using Discovery Studio is to edit it by method of crystallization, which we adopted X-ray crystallography. There are some components of the protein that may have been lost at that process, such as the polar hydrogen bonds, the charges. Some of these might have been lost at the process of crystallization or elucidating the 3D structure of that protein. To do that, the first thing we do is to load in our protein and then edit some of all those things by adding them manually here. And after that, we can now go ahead and generate our grid box. And I say that the grid box simply has the coordinates, the X, Y, Z dimension of coordinates where our ligand or compound is targeted to dock or is targeted to bind to. Okay, once you're able to generate this setup, then you are okay, you are good to go, and then you can continue with the docking process. Okay, simply and quickly, I'm going to repeat that. I said that the first thing you are going to do here is to go to your file where you have saved your cleaned protein. You click on file and then go to read molecule. You click on read molecule and then the read molecule will take you to your folder. I've tried to work with this folder. Okay, I think what I will do, let me quickly create another folder inside this, okay, so that we won't have to be repeating or replacing what we have already done. So let me quickly create a folder here. Okay, I'll create a new folder. Okay, let me go back to my downloads. Okay. I'm trying to get a folder. Okay, no problem. I'm having a little issue with my interface here. Okay, so finding it difficult to create a folder here. So I will simply be saving it into this work I have here into this folder. I will get it deleted afterwards. Okay, so let's go back to where we are. Okay, so I mentioned you simply click on your file, and then this will come up. You click on your file, click on read molecule. Okay, let's go back again. So I'll go to my file and click, and then I'll click on my read molecule. Okay, I'll click on read molecule, and then this will come up. I will have to go back to my download so I can locate. This is the folder I want to be putting the folder, this work folder. So that's where I'm going to be saving the next thing I'm going to be doing here. Okay. However, I don't have those working materials here yet. So I'll have to go and copy them into that clean protein. I'll have to go and copy that into that folder. So I will simply copy this array. I'll copy that and then I'll go to that folder and then I'll paste it here. Okay, and this is it. So I can now go back to where we were. Okay, so I'll go to file. I hope we're still there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go to file Michael, and then I will locate, and then I'll go to this which is where I'll be putting in the restricted work. So this is our protein which we cleaned Okay, once we repeat the process now, so what do? I will select the protein I've cleaned, not the one I downloaded directly. I'll select the one I've cleaned, which is the one I titled cleaned protein. So I'll hit on it, I'll double click on it, and then it will load. Okay, I mentioned that when it loads, this is what you are going to have. If you double click on it and drag it, you will see the protein trying to move. Okay, so this is the rendering in which the protein is located. And immediately this loaded, I told us that by the right side, by the left side, there are options under S, L, B, C, R, S, M, S, L, and CL. These are the different kind of editing you could do to this protein or rendering, okay? Different renderings you can offer to this protein. So one of it is maybe by clicking under the C, if I click this box under C, I want to generate a shell, a sphere nature, or a sphere rendering of my protein. This is what it will turn to. But for now, this is of little interest to us. So I will highlight that. And then I told us once it gets loaded, the next thing you do is to color your protein so that when you are editing the protein, you will be able to know what is actually adding and what is actually leaving. Okay, so immediately I have done that, I'll go to my color to add the color. I'll simply go under color. You see, if you see anything like this particular option, this sign is always trying to tell you that it's color, it's standing in for color. Okay, so under that, I'll click on the last triangle under it. I place my cursor on it, it will display coloring menu for representing your protein. Okay, so I'll click on it, and then it will ask me which coloring scheme do I want to apply. I will tell it by atom type. By atom type is color all the atoms in this protein according to their type. Okay, so I'll simply hit on by atom type. And if you're observant enough, you'll notice that the colorings of the protein, I can close this now. The coloring of the protein here has changed such that the nitrogen groups are in blue, the carbon groups are in ash color, the oxygen groups are in red color. Okay, the oxygen are in red, and some groups like sulfur, you see them in yellow coloration. Okay, some group like sulfur, you see them in yellow coloration. So that's just what coloration will help you do. We can't see hydrogen here yet because some of them were lost at the process of crystallization. So we are simply going to add some of them afterwards. So we've done the coloration. The next thing we do is to add your your hydrogen and your charges and all that. Okay, so we're together now. So to add my hydrogen and my charges, I'll simply go to edit. Those processes is what we call editing of your protein. Okay, so I'll go to edit. There's a pop down menu that will come up. Okay, in the pop down menu, the first thing I'm going to add here is my charge, like I mentioned. Groups that are always lost because of elucidating the structure is something like charges and hydrogen. So I'll go to my charge, and then you can either add your charge by compute tank charge or by Coleman charges. Like I mentioned earlier, I usually use compute transfer. However, both are just algorithms performing the same duty. So I click on compute Gantt figure. It will pop up and tell me that the total charge of 0.0038 were added. I'll say okay, no problem. I'll just click on okay. And the charge has been added. You might not be able to see the charge by mere looking at it. The second thing we added then is to go back to edit to add the polar hydrogen group. So I'll go back to edit and go back to my hydrogen and then click on add. Okay. If you go back to your edit, you go back to hydrogen and then you click on your what on your add. If I click on add, it will ask me, do I want to add all the hydrogen or just the polar ones? Okay, so we are not interested in all, that are the polar ones which are going to be involved in our interaction. So I'll simply click on add polar and then I will say okay. If you notice on your protein now, there are some whitish additions of charges that has occurred there. Yeah, those whitish groups are what we call the hydrogen groups. Okay, originally they were not there. Okay, you can see them being added there. Okay, so this is okay. We have added the hydrogen and then we've added the charges, which are what we needed to edit here in our protein. So that being done, we are done with the edit button. The next button we have is our grid button here. So we simply go to grid and click on grid. Okay. So you go to your grid. Okay. I told us earlier, immediately after adding your hydrogen and charges, you are done with the editing. The next thing is now to set what we call your grid box, okay, which will now help or direct your ligand or compound to where it's supposed to go. It's very, very important. Once you can do that, you have learned a lot, because many of the manipulations with respect to position of binding is at this point that you do that. So I'll simply go to my set map type. I will set map type directly. Okay, I mentioned it earlier. You go to set grid, go to set map type, and then set it directly. So I'll click on directly. Yeah, when you click on directly, if you look at your left end, there is a small box that will come out. There is a small pop-up box that will come out where you have to accept or to close. Yeah, in this case, we accept it. Okay, so you click on accept. Okay, yeah, that is taken. So we'll go to grid again now. Okay, meanwhile, I've accepted that. The next thing I'll go to grid again. I'll go to my macromolecule this time around. You either accept this map type after this step we're about to do now, or whichever step you take, but I think we need a step. Let's just take it exactly the step we did earlier on. Immediately after adding your hydrogen and your charge, you come back to the same grid. Okay, you go to macromolecule and you have to choose this macromolecule because we need to save what we have edited. Remember that after editing, you need to save it. And to save that, I mentioned that you have to go to your grid, come down to macromolecule and click on choose. If you click on choose, a pop-up box will come out at your left end. It will be a pop-up option at your left end where you are supposed to select your molecule you want to save, which is the edited molecule we just used. So you simply click on the molecule, which is the protein. You have to click on it to make it highlight blue, or to make it to be highlighted in blue. If you don't click on it, it won't enable this select molecule to go on. So I click on it, it's now blue. So I can click on select molecule now. If I click on select molecule, it will take me to my folder where I want to save that. But before it does that, it will have to inform me that my protein has been initialized, and then there is no non-bonded atom. No non-bonded atom, meaning that all the atoms are properly bonded. There is no non-bonded atom. So all the atoms are properly bonded. So I'll click on what? Okay. Then it will take me to my folder. Remember, we are working with a folder which is titled Austin Work. So I will simply go to my downloads. Okay, and I'll try to locate that folder, which is this first one. We're saving our repeated history. Okay, so if you go to the folder, I told us that immediately you want to save the edited molecule, you discover that it's saving as a PDB-QT file. Very, very important. It's saving as a PDB-QT file. That is the default file format of this Autodoc tool. And it's the same format that Autodoc Bina works with. Okay, if it's not in this file, you can't dock it. do not product again. So it's saved already as a PDBQC. And this is the name of the protein. So I'll simply click on what save. Remember, I'm telling you no item mark because there is none of this here. So I'll click on save. And then that is saved. Okay. We have saved the edited protein. So I say the next step now is to now create the grid box. After saving the edited protein, you return to the same grid and you now want to save or create the grid box where the coordinates of where your ligand was dot is now going to be what directed. So to do that, I'll simply go to my grid. Okay, now return to grid. Okay, and then I'm done with the molecule. And we have set map type as well. However, you can still do the same again. It won't make any difference. So I'll go to set map type just exactly as what we did earlier and click on directly and click on accept by your left end pop-up menu. Click on accept, and that is done. You still go back to the same grid, and now you are going to your grid box. Okay, you're going to your grid box. So you click on grid box, and like I said, immediately you click on grid box, a pop-up will come at your left, and then a box will appear at the center of your protein or where the active site of your protein is. Okay, yes, by default, this particular box tries to locate your active site, the active site of your protein. So that is exactly what it just did now. And I told us that this particular box can be adjusted. Okay, this box can be adjusted and then to suit your own test and all that. But by default, it's set at 40/40. And you can adjust it by simply double clicking on the knob and then rolling it. You can see how the box is now looking like. Okay, that is exactly what we mean to adjust the box. So I will just leave it at default 40/40 if you see. Okay, and if that's being done, if you look downwards, these dimensions are also giving you in X and Y and Z centers with a value. Okay, it means that if you carry this numbering, this value here, and type in a file we are going to prepare afterwards, you will discover that it's the same shape of this box that you are going to be maintaining here. That is the essence of this XYZ that is here. So what do we do now? We need this value, this XYZ value, and even this 40/40 value here. So you have two options here. You either write them out or you save them as a file. To me, I prefer saving them as files before I will go and make mistakes trying to write them out. So to save them, you simply go to your file and go to output grid dimension. Okay, go to output grid dimension. I'll click on that, and then it will return it my folder. So I'll simply locate my download. Okay, and then I will locate that second folder where we are working. It will tell me that none of this file is matching anything here. So I will simply title it as grid dimension file. Okay, I'll title it as grid dimension file and I'll hit my save button and that will get it saved. So I've saved the coordinates where this ligand is supposed to be targeted in this protein, just like you're seeing the box. After docking, you discover that this ligand is going to enter this particular box that you're having there. So I can go ahead and now close, going to file again. I can close without saving now because I've got what I'm looking for. So I can now close this without saving. If you click on close without saving, that box will disappear. And at this point, you have ended up generating the grid box you have just done now. So the next thing is to output this file. I mentioned that some tools you might be needing or calculations and all that you might be doing somewhere or sometime in the future. You might need a GPF file of this particular protein. So it's from this tool that we can save the GPF file of it. So by doing that, I'll simply go to grid and then I'll go to output this time around and then I'll click on save GPF. Okay, if you click on save the GPS, it will take you to
Hey.
your folder.
No.
So I will click on this. Okay, so I will go to the download, which is where I'm supposed to save that. I'll go to the folder, and then I'll title this the GPS file. GPS file. Okay, and that is all, and then I can watch save. Okay, yeah, this is where we are earlier on. So we've been able to go over what we did again, and then at this point, I think we can forge ahead and continue. I hope we're still with me.
Yes, we are.
So is it more
It's a bit clear. Just that we don't have the material. I didn't we have the structure of protein as we are doing it because we have a system with us. We are following every step that you are using. Just the structure or the diagram of it so that you actually see exactly what you are doing. But we are following the steps.
okay? If I got you clearly, by now you are supposed to have actually downloaded the program. I'm sure some of us that tried what we did yesterday. Tony, you can do it. Yeah, Tony, you can kindly do it. Okay, so some of us that were here yesterday, by now you should have downloaded the aesthetic holiness today, which we worked with yesterday, and possibly cleaned it or about to clean it, so that afterwards we continue from that. But if you have not, please go to our WhatsApp page. You see the few steps we've done with respect to that, and then try to get your protein downloaded, clean it, and then continue from where we are here. But make sure you are doing your best to catch up. You can do that afterwards. Okay, so we are done with our protein here. The next is to take it off, to delete it here, and load our ligand. So what do I do? I click on the protein towards the left end. You see the row where the protein is written. You just click on it, single click to highlight yellow. Then you right click and then click on what delete. Okay, you right click and do what and hit on delete, and then your protein will go up. Okay, so this is exactly where we are. We will now return to our working folder earlier on and continue what we were doing. Okay, the next thing we will do is to load in our ligand, okay, or our compound, which we are going to be docking with this particular protein, or are going to be docking to this protein against this protein. So what do I do to get this? I'll go to file. So in this case, you won't go to file because it's ligand you want to get loaded. If you follow through file, that will be a longer process to upload. However, if you go just a bit on top of your interface, the same row where you have grid, if you go to the left side, you will find another option where you have ligand. Okay, the first option there is ligand. You have flexible residue and grid. So before that, just please see the option for ligand. That is through where you are going to load in your ligand this time. So what do? I'll simply click on the ligand option, and then something will pop down. It will tell you, do you want to increase the ligand or do you want to perform function tree escalation and all that? But at this point, all I want to do is to input my ligand. Okay, please, if you're joining us, kindly.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so when you hit on your ligand, you go to impute. Okay, just like you have rich molecule in our protein, trying to upload our protein in ligand, what we have is impute, not read molecule. So you go to what? To your impute, and then you go to open. Okay, you hit on what? Open. And then when you hit on open, it will take you to your folder. Just like you did in protein, you try to locate where your folder is. Okay, so I'll click on this point, and then I'll find my download. In my download, I can now continue with my docking tutorial file, which is where my working materials is. So I'll click on that. And then when you click on that, the first thing that will appear here is the only file in PDBQT. Yes, please note that down. If you click yours this way, don't just conclude that you can't find your protein here. Yes, you won't find it by your first click here because the default file type here is PDBQT. Remember, your ligand is a PDB file. So you will need to come down to the file type. Okay, files of type. So you come to the file type, click on the arrow beside the file type. Okay, there will be a pop down menu. You click on the arrow beside that, there will be a pop down menu. Then one of the last pop down menu is going to be all files. Okay, it's going to be what? All files. So you can click on all files so that all other documents you have inside that folder will come in. Please note that very well. So I can now click on what? All files. If I click on all files immediately, the rest of my folder on my file here will pop out. Okay, among them is the question thing, which is what the ligand I want to get prepared now. Okay, so at this point, I can now click on the ligand, which is the question thing. And then it will get loaded. A pop-up will also appear. Okay, the pop-up will try to read one or two other things from you out here. But in the same way, just tell the pop-up to go on, okay, which is by clicking what? Okay. And then this is your ligand. The same way to double click and drag, you can move the ligand around. So this is your ligand, which is what the question is. Okay, the major aim of bringing your ligand here is simply to convert your ligand from a PDBQT, from a PDB file to a PDBQT file. Yeah, please note that very well. The major aim of inputting your ligand here, you are not editing much your ligand. Ligand is not as complex as your protein. Okay, so you can simply convert the file type, and that is all. So you are not adding any hydrogen or oxygen bond. As you can see, the hydrogens are here, the oxygens are here, and all that. So we are not editing much here. So what do? You simply go to the same ligand and go to your output, and then you can save it as PDBQT. Okay. However, there could still be cases where you might want to know a little bit about your ligand, such as the torsion trees of your ligand. Okay, torsion tree is the kind of the structural compositions of your ligand. Okay, what's the ability of the ligand to interact? To what extent can that happen, and all that? You might find that in the torsion tree. Okay, option where you can detect roots, show torsions, and all that. Okay, an instance of that is by clicking on detect root, which is the fourth one. It will try to tell you, try to detect the center of this ligand from where this ligand can rotate in order to make interaction during docking. Okay, like I mentioned, these are simply few information you might want to find out about your ligand of interest and all that. So the first, you can try to detect the root and find where your protein your ligand can move from. Okay, while trying to make interaction. Then aside that, you could go as well to um, show your torsion, okay, or choose your torsion as we mentioned earlier. So if you hit on your choose torsion, okay, you discover that you have there's a pop-up that will show by your left end. Okay, that left end, one of the information it will give you there is the number of rotatable bonds you have with respect to your ligand. You have about 6 rotatable bonds out of over 32 bonds present in this your ligand. Okay, so it's just an information like I mentioned. You just want to know, or you might just want to know about your ligand. However, they are not going to be, a kind of a step of what you must add to your ligand. You're not adding anything. You're simply trying to find out about this. So here you have about 6 rotatable bonds, okay, which means while your ligand is moving trying to make contact during the process, it has about up to 6 different rotatable bonds. You can do that too. So what do I do? I'll simply do it on my done, okay, and then that will be done. Okay, the last thing you could do with respect to your ligand, which is the last information you could try to assess, is by going to the same ligand again, going to your torsion tree, and then going to set number of torsions. Yes, set number of torsions. If you click on set number of torsions, it's going to tell you that you have just 6 active torsions. Okay, you have 6 active torsions. This torsion is simply the same as the number of rotation or rotatable bonds your ligand could exhibit while found inside your protein. Okay, the higher the number of torsions or the higher the number of rotatable bonds, the higher the possibility of your ligand making more interactions. And the higher your ligand make more interactions, the stronger or the higher the binding energy or the binding affinity of that ligand, or the higher the docking score. Okay, let me come again. I mentioned that when you load in your ligand, okay, the major thing you are loading your ligand here is simply to convert your ligand from a PDB file to a PDB QT file, okay, from a PDB file to a PDB QT file. And then to do that, you will simply load in the ligand by clicking on your, you simply load in the ligand by clicking on your ligand group. Let me just click this. You go to your ligand group here and click on the ligand, and then click input and load in your ligand. After loading that, I mentioned the next thing is just to save it as PDBQT. But I decided to show you people 1 or 2 information you might want to know about your ligand, which will determine how active or how strong it will interact with your protein. One of it is the number of rotatable hydrogen bonds it has. The number of rotatable hydrogen bonds it has. The higher the number of rotatable hydrogen bonds, the stronger the interaction it can elicit. And the stronger the interaction it can elicit, the higher the docking score. You're coming in, mute yourself. Okay, the higher the rotatable hydrogen bond, the higher the interaction. And the higher the interaction, the stronger or the higher the docking score it will give you. Okay, and what we call the binding energy is going to give you afterwards. Okay, so from there we were able to also show us other information through which we were able to detect our root, and then we chose torsion. And the last thing we mentioned is certain number of torsion, which I told you the higher it is, the better. Remember, you cannot have more torsion than your rotatable hydrogen bond. Okay, you cannot have that. You can't have more torsion than your rotatable hydrogen bond. So we have 6 rotatable hydrogen bonds, and that is exactly why we have 6 torsion points here. However, we can reduce the torsion from 6 to downwards, but we can't increase it by more than 6. However, I usually leave my torsion, in the normal, what we call the default number of rotatable hydrogen bonds. Okay, this is 6 here. And then this is also, I can do 6 now. I hope this is clear. Are we there?
Yes, we are here.
Okay, so this is clear now.
God will help us. So.
Hey.
It's well. Don't help us. Don't worry. We'll this together. Okay. So the next thing we do is to save this ligand. This we do by simply going to ligand, go to output file. Okay, you go to ligand, go to output, and click on save as PDB. Okay, simply click on save as PDB. It will take you to a folder where your ligand, where your locking folder is. So I can say that I'm going to my download. Okay, so I can go to my tutorial, and then this is it. Okay, because only this protein we have prepared earlier is the one in PDB50. That is why only this is here. Okay, so I can go ahead and say what it is. And at this point, I've ended up saving my ligand and my protein in PDB50 format, ready for molecular docking steps. Okay, if we come to this point, there is just one more other point we are going to just a file. It's going to be a notepad file, okay, or what we call notepad. We don't use notepad to prepare that. We call it a config file. Okay, it's a configuration file. We are simply going to find a file where we can combine all the information we have just done now into the file. The same file is what we are going to ask the Bina to the Bina docking app. We are going to command now. We are going to ask to use this particular file which has the sum of all the information concerning our ligand and our protein. Simply use that file and do what, and interpret whatever is in it, and it does, and that is what the docking is all about. Okay, so to do that, we are going to prepare a config file quickly. I already have several config files which are here while performing different docking services. So
Your voice is not clear. We can't hear you.
okay.
We can't hear you well. The line is cracking.
Okay.
The line is breaking.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
It's still the same thing, but maybe we can manage.
Okay. How about now? I think we can hear me now.
Yeah. Much better.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better now.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Please always draw me back if you can't hear me well, so we can be close together. So the next thing I mentioned is to prepare the config file. It's a very simple file that we've done 80 to 90% of the work. So we just prepare the file quickly. I'm going to open an example of the file, and then we'll prepare the file together and see what it looks like. So I'll simply search a config file. Okay, I have many of them. So I will okay, let me open this and copy what I have there. Are we hearing me? You can hear me, right?
Yes, you can hear.
Okay, okay, okay. So, this is an example of please, someone help us with yourself. Help us. Please, help us.
We can't hear you.
Okay. Are we hearing me now?
Line is
It's
still
breaking.
breaking.
Your line is breaking, sir. We can't hear you.
Oh, how about now? How about now?
It's breaking.
Okay. 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 Go better. Go better. Hello, can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Yes, yes.
It's
Yes,
better now,
we
right?
can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, the next thing we mentioned is preparing
But please,
our.
can you do a recap so that we can know how you got to this point? Because we're not hearing you.
Okay, okay. I said we're done preparing our protein and our ligand. We have saved them in PDBQT format. Okay, the next last step, which we will do before we can now commence the docking process, is to prepare a config file. Okay, a config file or a configuration file is a file that summarizes all the information concerning your protein and your ligand, okay, and all that. The beginner simply understands this particular file and interacts your protein with your ligand according to the information provided in this file. So example of this file is what I simply sent or I opened on the page now. I hope you can see something like this on my screen. Can we see a file I just highlighted on my screen?
But how did you get it?
Okay, okay. Yeah, we want to go ahead and do that now. I just asked,
How did we get this confirmation? Can you?
That's what he's about to explain.
yes, yes. We want to explain how we got to this. Okay. So I just opened it to show us what it looks like. So what I'm going to do, I'm simply going to copy this, okay, or rather I'm going to delete all this, okay, so that we do it together ourselves and see how it's done. So I'll delete all this. Okay, I'll delete all this. I'll delete this. Okay, and then okay, I can we can keep it this way. Okay, let me explain what we have in this file. Very, very important. The number one thing we have in this file, you simply type receptor. Okay, as you can see here, I'm going to attach this file and send to us afterwards. Okay, the first thing, you simply type in your notepad, okay, from your system, you type receptor. Receptor is what we call the protein or the target, okay? The receptor is the protein, whether the protein is an enzyme or a receptor kind of
Hormone.
protein, or a hormone, yes, we call it receptor generally, okay? Yeah, it's receptor. So you have to type receptor. After typing receptor, you hit a space by hitting your space button, okay? Assuming I clean this up, you type receptor, you hit the space, and then you type equal to in your keyboard, okay, and hit another space. What it means is you are trying to tell them what your receptor means, okay, that my receptor equal to this. However, you're not going to type it together. You're not going to type something like this, receptor immediately, and now you type equal to. No, you have to give a space, just like you're typing, okay? Then the next thing we're going to do is to bring in to name our receptor. What is the receptor we're working with? The receptor we are working with here is the one you prepared from Autodoc 2, the one you saved as PDB55. Okay, most time what I do is simply to go there and copy it instead of typing it manually. By typing, you might miss something. If you miss anything, trying to type at this particular point, it will never work. It will always keep telling you there is an error. Okay, so it's a very simple way to know that you are missing something out. So in order to do that, you simply copy the name verbatim as it is saved and come and paste here. So what do? I will go to my folder, which is where I have the file, is in my docking tutorial file. So I'll open the docking tutorial file. Okay, so this is the docking tutorial file. Okay, my protein, you can see that is saved in a PDB50 format. If you come towards your right, you will see the file type is a PDB50 file. Okay, so it's saved as PDB50. How do I now copy it? I will copy it by simply trying to rename it. Okay, when you try to rename it, you discover it is highlighted. So what do? I will go and try to rename it, or you right click and click on rename. Okay, if you right click, you're going to find the rename. Okay, on my own type of MS Word, this means rename. If you place your cursor on it, you see rename. So I'll quickly click on rename. Okay, if I click on rename, you discover that the extension wasn't highlighted. Yes, if you look closely, you discover that my extension wasn't highlighted when I click rename. So I must make sure I highlight everything inside here manually. Immediately I highlight that, I can now do Control C to copy. Okay, you simply do Control C and you copied it. Okay, make sure you're copying both the name and the extension. Then I can go to my notepad where I'm trying to prepare my config file. So this is the notepad where I'm preparing the config file. So I'll simply click on right Control V now, and then I pasted the protein. I hope we are following what I'm doing.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So I've pasted my protein, my receptor, which is the name I copied there. Then the next thing is the ligand. I will need to do the same thing and go and copy my ligand and come and paste here. Okay. So I'll go back to my file. Okay, go back to my ligand. This is my ligand in PDB50. Don't go and copy the ones in PDB. If you copy that, it won't work. I've mentioned earlier, Autodoc doesn't understand PDB files, rather they understand the PDB QT format. So I've come to my ligand. I'll repeat the same thing. I'll right click and then I will rename. This is the rename option in my own MS Office, in my own window version. So I'll click on rename. As usual, you highlight just the name without the extension. I can now manually highlight everything inside and then do Control C, or you can right click and click on copy. Okay, they are all the same thing. So I can return back to the file I'm preparing, and then I can paste it by doing Control V or right clicking and pasting. Okay, you have seen I've told this file, this configuration file, that this receptor is named this, okay, and then the ligand or compound is named this. Okay, so it's going to be understanding the receptor and the ligand as this name we have provided here now. And then if you provide a different, just like you don't understand that. Okay, so we are done with the name of the ligand and the receptor. The next thing is the syntax. Okay, the next thing is the syntax. If you remembered while we are on orthodox 2, where we are trying to generate the grid box, we have center X, center Y, center Z. And to write this center, you simply type center and then you type underscore. Underscore is typed by holding down the shift button. Okay, I will fill in the first one here so that we'll type it together. You type your center without giving space. You type your center without giving space. You hold down your shift button and click on the option where you have hyphen. Okay, where you have hyphen in your keyboard is close to the plus button in your keyboard. Okay, you hold down your shift key and click or press on hyphen. Instead of giving you hyphen, it will give you an underscore. Okay, it will give you an underscore. So we have center underscore X. You cannot type X. And then you hit the space bar to give a space. And then you can now press your equal to. So by this, you have told it that your center X is equal to this, your center Y is equal. We are now going to tell this file what our centers are. Okay, what are different coordinates? That's the coordinates I've been mentioning about. So to simply do this, I'll have to go to that file. If you remember, we say which is the grid dimension file. Okay, the grid dimension file has our X, Y, and Z coordinates. Okay, so I'll simply go to that file. Okay, and then I'll open the file which I titled the grid dimension file. Okay, I'll try to open that. Yeah, it will ask you what do you want to open. Okay, I can open it with my notepad. Okay, just once and then it will open. Okay, if it opens, you can see what is here. This is it opening. So once it has opened, it will give you the first thing, the name of the protein. The second one is the spacing. Okay, the third one is the NPTS value. Okay, this NPTS value is same as the dimension, the first option we had in our orthodox 2, where you have 40, 40, 40. This 40, 40, 40 is those three 40, 40, 40 you had in the orthodox 2. Sarah, please mute yourself. Oh, okay, thank you. So this 40, 40, 40 is the same 40, 40, 40 we had when we were trying to save this particular file from the orthodox 2. So what do? We simply go to, okay, so we simply go to our compute file. This 40, 40, 40 we found here, remember, is not yet our center. This 40, 40, you can see the center is the one below, which is this down one. This 40, 40, 40 here stands for the sizes. That's the dimension size. That is the size of that box. You saw us expand at the cost of doing that. So I can simply type 40 here, so that we'll be doing it line after the other, 40, and then I'll do 40 here. That is the size, not the center. In this, our output, the size was given to us before the center. So instead of jumping the size, I just decided to put the size, which is how it's supposed to be, exactly this. Then immediately after the size, the next thing is what? The center, which is the X, Y, and Z. Okay, the next thing is the center, which is the X, Y, and Z. So what do I do here? I'll simply go back to the dimension file. The first center here is this first point from 4.766. Okay, 4.766. That is the first center. So I can easily, that's the X center, is 3 center here. You have 4.766, you have 65.514, and lastly you have 56.822. These are the 3 coordinates here, the 3 centers here. So I'll first of all copy the first one, and I'll copy it. I'll go to center X. Remember, you type center, you type underscore X, and then you hit the space button, and then you type your equal to, and then you hit the space again. You can now paste your center. Most times, it's advisable you just copy it. Don't type it. While typing it, you might make mistake with the number. Okay, so you simply copy the values and come and paste here directly. Okay, so we have pasted the first one, which is always for the x. Then we can go back and then copy the second one. Okay, which is 65.5 pounds for. I will continue to copy that, and then I will go back to my file and I will do Control V. I will save it. For the sake of time, I don't want us to start typing center X, center Y, center fresh as if now. So we can do that on our own. I will attach this file as well. So we just paste what we did here or the information we need here and I will explain that as we are going on. So the last one remaining here is our center Z. Okay, I can still go back there. The last one is usually the center Z. So I'll go to the last one and then I'll copy it and then I'll come back here and I can now paste it. So I've been able to give this file the name of my receptor, which is the first one. I've also been able to give this file the name of my ligand and my compound. And then, thirdly, I was able to give this same file the different syntax, okay, or what they call syntax or coordinates. This syntax simply tells you the dimension, which is this port. This syntax is the value of the numeric value of the coordinate where the ligand is going to be docking, where the ligand is going to be binding at. Okay, if you vary this number, you are certainly varying the positioning of that ligand. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, and I'm going to show us later. If you want to perform a site-directed docking, you simply come here and change the center here to your amino acid of interest. Every amino acid in the protein will have its own coordinate, X, Y, and then Z. You simply pick the coordinate for that amino acid you want to target and come here and replace it here. And that is all. Okay, so this is what we have, and we've also stated the sizes. The next thing we have here is the output. This out means your output. Okay, by writing this, your result is going to come out as a ligand or I. Okay, we are all in the 55. So we can as well go ahead to type this on the phone window. If we do all this, one after the other, we might have more time than necessary. So you simply type out space equal to space ligand space all dot pdb. Okay. Okay, okay. We are done preparing this file. So exactly this is what you are going to work to type on your own notepad. Okay, this is exactly what you are going to type. And after you are done typing, the next thing is to save it into the working file where you are working, into the same folder where you are working. So this is what we have here. It's as simple as this. It doesn't require any here. Just type exactly what we have here. So I'll first of all to save it, I'll go to my file, okay, and I'll go to save as. Okay, if I go to save as, if you try to take me to where my folders are, okay, I'll try to locate my folder. It's in my download, and then this is my docking tutorial. I'll click on my docking tutorial, and then this has already given itself as a config, which is because I have it already here. So you simply label it what title is config, CONFIG, as in configuration, but you shorten it as what config, and it's a text file. So it's okay here. It's already entering this particular folder where we are working from. So we can click on what save, and then we have saved this. So this is the final stage of getting your material. The next step we are going to now will simply use the docking command, and then docking will comment. I hope we are still with me.
Yes, we are following, but I didn't get how you're able to generate that config interface.
Okay, like I said, the config file is simply just a word, a notepad file. Okay, it's simply a notepad file. Okay, so like I said, it's simply a notepad file. Okay, it's available in notepad form because it's a text file. Exactly what you have here is what you're going to type. You first of all type your receptor, type your writer. There is no additional typing. Just type exactly what you have here. And what you're typing here are the different information about your protein and your writer, which does being and used to comment the docking process. The first thing you type here is your receptor. I told us that receptors stand for your protein or your target, be it hormone, be it receptor, be it enzyme, be it whatever you are talking your life and within. It's called the receptor here. Note that any name you give it here, it will answer. Okay, however, it's because you give it to a receptor. If you write give it target, it will say answer that. The major thing is you define what it is. That is what counts. Okay, so the first thing you type is what your receptor. Then, and I told you that immediately you type receptor, you just give a space, I type photo, and then give a space, and then you write what your receptor means. What is your receptor here? The receptor we are working with here is the protein you save in PDBQT. The protein you save the word PDBQT. Then you save the protein and copy the name, like you're renaming it. Don't copy the entire file. It's the name you want to copy. You don't need to type it afresh so that you don't make mistakes. Remember, you just go to the folder, right click and do as if you want to rename it. And then simply copy the name, highlight all the information and copy the name. And come over here and do what? And paste it on your number here. Just like you did here. The same thing you did for receptor, the same thing you do for your ligand. Then after doing that, you come down to your syntax for you to fill your syntax. You have to go and open that file where we saved our grid options. When we were preparing grid options, there is a step where we save grid dimension file. That grid dimension file will contain your syntax, X, Y, Z, and also your sizes, which is size 40, 40, 40. Example of that, if I go to that folder, okay, this is the folder, that is the file we say that grid dimension file. If you open that file, it's going to come out as this, okay? Where this 40, 40, 40 stands for the size, that's our file. That is the first value here under syntax stands for the X. The second value here stands for the Y. And the last value stands for the Z. That is exactly what we have there. And that's all the information we have provided in this computer. At the end of it, you are going to have an output. Okay? You are going to have what? An output. When you are going to tell simply like write trigger underscore all, and make sure that for you to write underscore, you simply hold down this button, and then hold down your press your hyphen value or hyphen button to your keyboard. You simply produce an underscore. So you just type exactly what you have here, and then fill in what you're supposed to fill, and that's all. And this is okay by question.
The network is really disturbing us. The voice has been breaking. It's been terrible.
Okay. Manuel, are you having the same
I understood I understood what you explained. So my question was specifically on that config text. Is it a notepad?
Yes,
Yes, it's just a notepad place.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. Like this being said, we are going to go to the last point, which is where we now do the magic now. Okay, where we now do the magic, and then we can now go and try that out. Okay, so this time, please, you need to be very much more focused. I hope you can. Okay, Sarah, you are raising your hand. Sarah, you can go on. Sarah, you are raising your hand. Can you go on? Mute yourself, Sarah, and ask your question. Okay, it seems Sarah is not there. She's raising her hand, but she's not responding to us, so we can continue. Okay, so we've been able to get our 5. The next thing now is to comment the talking process. Okay, it's just a command. And then please mute yourself. Esther, Obiwelu, please kindly help us mute yourself. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so at this point we go over the talking process proper. Okay, please, I will expect us to be as focused as possible at this point so we can get all the processes involved. Okay, we are going to.
Sorry, you said I should unmute myself, sir.
Sorry, it was Sarah. It was Sarah that was raising her hand. I asked you to mute. You can mute yourself. Okay.
Okay, sir. It's noted.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, Sarah, you can go ahead. Sarah, you can go ahead.
Okay, I was saying that for us to be able to follow the class efficiently, I feel like at the end of every day's lesson, the video tutorial, like the video recordings for that lesson should be dropped. Because as at yesterday, there were some parts I did not get. So I was expecting that the video lessons would be made available via WhatsApp, but I could not, like, if not, I would have worked on it overnight, and today I'll be able to efficiently follow the class. So I don't know if it's possible that after the lesson for today, yesterday's and today's lesson the recording should be dropped. And also the slide from that first introductory lecture. So we can like go through it in detail, for us to like understand the class properly.
Okay, well noted. The video for yesterday is ready and will be sent to us immediately after this class, including the slides. The video for today's one as well will make sure it gets to us today as well. Okay, Deborah, please, you are raising your hand. Can you quickly ask? Deborah, are you still there? Do you have a question?
Okay, yes, I'm here. I have a lot of questions on the previous on the just concluded lessons class. So my questions are: number one, when you were trying to add the charges and hydrogen bonds on the protein. So how you said that the different colors represent different the hydrogen bond, the carbon, different things. And I kept on looking at the slide to see the labeling where this color blue represent this, color yellow represent this. I didn't see it. So how do you know which color represents what? I don't know if you understand the question.
Yes, I certainly do.
Okay, that's my first question. Should I ask everything, or maybe you answer it one by one?
Yeah, let me attend to this first one while you go to the second one. Yeah, the coloring by default. Okay, we are working with that, and then we know them by default. Okay, you can turn that down. It doesn't change despite the tool. In all tools for visualization, all tools for visualization of your proteins or ligand or any form of biomolecule, the red coloration always stands for your oxygen. Okay, the red coloration will stand for your oxygen. The ash color will stand for your carbon atom by default, these are their colors by default, except you have need to change their color. By default, these are their colors. The red one stands for oxygen. The ash color stands for the carbon atoms. The blue color stands for your nitrogen group, while the whitish color stands for your oxygen or your hydrogen atoms. The blue stands for your nitrogen group. The whitish color stands for your hydrogen atoms. And your yellow color, sometimes yellow color here, it stands for the sulfur groups, which are always involved in sulfur bridge formation in your protein structure. So by default, these are their colors.
Okay. The yellow color stands for what, please?
Sulfur bridge, sulfur, normal sulfur that forms sulfur bridge.
Okay, it's okay. Thank you so much for that. Okay. Okay, the other one I asked the question earlier, how to clean the protein. So maybe you can tell us later. Then the next question is, why you were trying to choose, is it under grid or something? You told us to highlight polar, for the hydrogen. Yes, trying to choose the hydrogen bond or something. You said we should highlight polar instead of all hydrogen. Why that? If you select all hydrogen, what happens?
Okay, yes, very importantly. When you select all hydrogen, you have thousands of hydrogen atoms, clouding your elucidated protein structure. Okay, in fact, during the process of crystallization, most of these hydrogens are taken off in order not to interfere with the charges distribution of the protein. So while you are trying to edit the protein, the hydrogen you are adding is only the polar ones, because these are the ones you just need for your interaction. Adding all the hydrogen might even add ones that might end up interfering with the normal net charge of your protein, which might affect its interaction with your ligand as well. So we are only concerned about the polar hydrogen, which are the ones that will be of help to us, or that will be useful to what we're doing. That's the reason. Okay, Deborah.
Okay. Okay,
I want
it's okay. The last question. I'm not just the last one, please. Sorry. Okay, the last one is I did get when you were trying to copy the dimensions for, I think it's for the ligand or the protein. The center X, Y, Z value. While you were trying to copy it. So how did you highlight and copy everything once? Because I tried doing that and it's only copied one per time. But I noticed that you did it once. I don't know how you did that. And still, lastly, what does negative value represent for the total? Is it gas star something? What do you even grid?
Okay. Firstly, you asked about you can move yourself. You asked about how I copied my files.
Yes, I mean the dimensions, the grid dimension. You copied it once.
I saved it as an output first. If you go to your grid dimension, go to file,
Yes.
you will see output grid dimension file. Output it. I output the whole thing. I saved it as a file out. And then just copy. I saved it as an output file. Okay, so if you output grid dimension file, you're supposed to save it as a file, as a different file inside your folder, so that you can easily open it later or afterwards and then copy what you want to copy inside of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the negative value, trying to remember where we counted negative value. But if it's about charges, it's fine. It might just be the next charge trying to tell you which can either be positive or negative after a duty. It's not it's dependent on the person you're working with, so it's not an issue. Okay, I think that answers your question, Deborah, right? Please, the rest of
It
the
does.
questions you can simply direct to our WhatsApp page. We'll be
It's
attending
okay.
to that. Therefore, let's quickly
Yes,
take
thank you so
one.
much.
Yeah, welcome. Manuel, please, you can. Okay, sorry, Esther, Obi, Welu, please.
No problem, sir. Thank you, sir. Please, sir, mine is an appeal for the material because it has been written here and it's breaking, so I didn't really get it. Not that I don't know what to do, but since I didn't follow from the beginning, I cannot, because sometimes I go offline. I'm not being able to take our protein of interest and to get the legal. But if we have the material in words from not only video, one can read a lot, give it 2 hours. That's my take. I'm still pleading. Thank you, sir, for the impactful lecture.
Okay, okay. We are working towards that. At the end of the workshop, they will certainly provide that as well. And then for those that will be working with videos as well, we get that sent to us immediately as well. Okay, Emmanuel, we'll give you just 2 seconds, please. Just 2 seconds to drop a question. Okay, you can go on.
Okay, yeah. It's based on your explanation about hydrogen, why we don't add all the hydrogen because of the interference. But I'm looking at the in vivo condition. Won't this hydrogen interfere?
Okay. That's I got your question. So you are talking about in vivo, maybe in the biological system now, if this hydrogen won't interfere naturally. Okay. That's what you are trying to ask, right?
Yes.
Okay. Naturally, the body finds a way to maintain a particular pH level for its physiological condition or its physiological environment. However, you will get to find much about this maybe when we are talking about dynamics, okay, or simulation, where you talk about energy calculations like Doc mentioned today. You will still discover that even at that point, there are some charges you intentionally calculate and make sure is exactly that. This is because, of course, we are working with computer tools and not bio systems. So these tools there are some conditions you will need to meet in order to enable the tools work efficiently as a software. Okay, so in the biological system, the system has a way of maintaining a particular pH of the physiological environment that will help maintain the hydrogen concentration, within the environment, helping these proteins to, function optimally without affecting either the method or the concentration. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, please, let's do this last part, which is the magic aspect of it. Okay, and then we can now go and one or two things. Okay, to begin, we are going to open our Autodoc 2. We are going to open our command prompt. Yeah, command prompt is what we are going to use to, enter our commands, and then our docking will start. Please, we are not going to enter coding so that we don't get scared. There is nothing like coding here. So I will simply go to my search and then type my command. Okay, I want to put my command from this system has that. I don't need to send that to system. Okay, so you go to your search option and type command or com. You always see command from popping up. Okay, this is what I have. So I will click on it, and when it loads, this is what I have. Okay, so this is my command prompt. Okay, if you load your own, the black interface is exactly what you are going to have as well. Okay, at this point, we are simply going to, number one is invite software inside there, locate where our software are, and immediately after locating our software, the next thing is now to locate our file, which is that config file. I told us that config file has already summarized all the information pertaining our protein and our ligand. Because it's located in the same folder where our protein and ligand is, we'll simply bring in the file and then ask it to go ahead and do the docking magic, and then that is all. Okay, so the first thing I'll do here is to change directory for my docking or for the command, and you do that by typing cd. Okay, don't worry, the different steps in this docking, I'm going to provide that at the end of the lecture and send to us to go through and follow accordingly. For me, what I want to do here is a directory for those that. Okay, so I type CD as in alphabet CD. Okay, you simply type what CD. The CD I said it means change directory. Okay, I want to change the directory to something else. And what do I want to change it to? I want to change it to my folder. Okay, this is my default system directory. So I will have to go to my folder. Okay, once you type CD, you go to your folder, and then on top of your folder, you will see a directory where you have your user, your name, my name, the download, and then the docking tutorial. The outline of my data for this is exactly how it is in my system. It's just the option upwards where the directory of the folder is. Okay, if your mouse comes to an arrow there and then you click, you simply discover that directory will be selected, will be highlighted blue by default. Okay, if you click on that option, let me do that again. Okay, this is what it looks like before. Okay, so I'll simply take my mouse to that option, close to that, and then it will turn to an arrow, okay, a triangular arrow. I'll simply click once, and then it will highlight the directory by default, okay, and it's highlighted blue. By this, I can simply say Control C. Don't write any other thing, just do Control C, and you copy the directory. Where all we are working with, I want to copy it and change my docking, my command prompt to this directory. So I will copy this, and then I've done Control C already. Okay, so I'll simply go to the command prompt where we are. This is the command prompt where we are, and then I've typed CD. After typing CD, the next thing you type is to type space. Okay, by hitting space button on your keyboard. Okay, you create a space, and then depending on your system or your keyboard, you can simply right click. Okay, and the directory you copied will appear. Okay, you can simply right click, your directory will appear, or if your directory doesn't appear, when you right click, you will see options like paste. Okay, you see options like paste. You simply paste it. Okay, and then you can see that pasted here. So I've changed the directory to my folder. However, to conclude that, I'll have to hit the enter button. So if I hit the enter button, it will automatically change the directory to my docking folder directory. So I'll hit on enter button on my keyboard. So you can see I now have the directory as my folder now. Okay, if that is taken, the next thing we do is now to find where our software is. Okay, we have to find where our software is and then locate that software before we can now command it to now dock our folder or our protein and ligand. Okay, if you have changed the directory, the next thing you do to find your path, we call that path, trying to find or locate your software. We call it finding the path. Okay, you do that by clicking on backslash or typing backslash. Okay, backslash is located close to shift button. Some of them has a question mark on top of it as well, depending on your keyboard. But backslash is different from forward slash. You use backslash, it's close to the shift button on your keyboard. So you type backslash and then you type P. Okay, and then you type tab on your tab key. Then the key will call tab, T-A-B, tab key. The tab key is located, most keyboard is on top of your cap lock key. Okay, by the right left hand, you find your cap lock key. So the tab is on top of that cap lock key. Okay, you simply click tap on the tab once. Okay, Emmanuel, you're raising your hand. Please, can I know what is the problem?
Okay, no, it was the first question I asked before.
Okay, so you can remove that.
Right.
Can just lower the hand.
Okay. Okay, are we together now? Okay, please, we continue. I think the first thing we do here is to locate to open our DOS. After DOS, we type cd and then go and copy our file directory. Okay, we'll copy our file directory, which is from our folder. Instead of that, to copy that, simply copy it, come over here, right click. Depending on your system version, some of them, your window, what like click, it already comes up already. Or on the other hand, you might need to, like you can see paste option, you click on paste, paste. After that, you hit on your enter button. If you hit on enter button, it will get you to this option. Then once you get to this option, you are going to use /P. I think I mentioned backslash earlier. So we are not going to where we use backslash down. So you use /P. Correct that. /P. Okay. / is on top of your enter button. Okay, it's on top of the enter button, depends on your keyboard. You press on what / and then P, not backslash, please. / P, and then tap on your tab button. Okay, your tab button. Then the tab button, which is on top of your cap lock. So you simply tap once. If you tap once, depending on your system, here is showing me page file.system. These are folders that are in your local disk. Okay, but what I'm trying to locate is program file 86. That is where our installations were made. Our Orthodox binner, that is where it is located, including the Discrete Institute. Okay, if you remember when we were installing it, we discovered the copy of the Discrete Institute into the program file 86, which is where the docking file, which is the Orthodox binner. I can open that the Discrete Institute. Discover that the binner is actually inside that. So I'll have to keep tapping on my tab key until I locate program file 86. I say the first thing after clicking your directory, you hit your enter button. After hitting your enter button, you press your / and then type P. And then go to your tab button and hit on your tab button. You keep hitting on the tab button until you find program file your discrete institute is complete according to that installation. Okay, and then in case you make mistake and then overclick to that key, don't worry. Okay, you can always if you reach the end, it will come back from the beginning and go back. So as you can see, I'm just clicking it. You can see how it is going. So don't feel you've got it wrong because you click and pass the program file 86. You can easily continue clicking until you get back to that. Okay, so this is our program file 86. Then inside the program file 86, we have inside it, we have a folder we copied to there as discrete institute. We want to open that folder, and the title of that folder is discrete institute. D started with T. Okay, D started with T. However, if you just want to start everything inside this program file 86, you simply press your your forward slash again. Okay, press your forward slash again and tap on your tab key again. You keep tapping on your tab key. You keep tapping on your tab key until you locate the script institute, which is on the T. Okay, I'll just pass that. So I'll keep tapping until I get back to that. Okay, so this is the script institute. Okay, this is the script institute. However, instead of this continuous tapping, you can simply type backslash. You can simply backslash and type T. Okay, and type what T. By typing T, you will simply locate the script institute directly. Okay, say for instance, I clean this up. Okay, let me clean this up and simply type backslash T. Okay, if I type backslash T and just press once in my tab key, it will locate the script institute. This is because the script institute is the only folder here that started with a T. But if there are many folders, it will simply give you all the folders that started with T. But by as a result, it should, you should be able to find it faster than when you are tapping from A until you get to T. Okay, so when you have found the discrete institute, inside the discrete institute, that's where you have your VINA. Okay, that's why you have your VINA. So we'll still open this folder. We are just trying to open the folder. That's what we are doing by typing a backslash. So I'll type backslash again, and then I'll type V. Okay, the V stands for what? For VINA, which is already located inside that folder. Okay, or inside our discrete institute folder. If you open that folder downloaded, you see that you have a VINA extension there. So when I type backslash and type V, I can now hit my tab button and then just once, and then VINA will appear. Okay, not just VINA. Inside VINA, there is VINA extension VINA.exe. Is the VINA.exe that is actually going to perform this document, not just the VINA. So VINA is just a folder. Inside VINA, there is the main software that is there. So I'll simply type backslash again, and then I'll tap plus again, hit on my tab button. Each time you type a backslash, you hit on your tab button to get that done. So this being done, I am done with this now. At this point, if I hit my enter button now and it reads, it means I got my command properly. And then if I hit on my tab button and there is a problem, then my enter button and there's a problem, then I didn't get the command very well. Okay, before I hit the enter button, are we confused with this extent? Do you follow me to this extent?
Yes, so there's a lot of confusion anyway, basically because the line was cracking, it was breaking. So I didn't hear most of the things you said. For me, I don't know if it's the same for others.
It's just the same thing. No, it was breaking.
There's a break in communication.
I was trying to follow you, but because of the breaking, I couldn't follow you again.
Okay, it's sounding better now. Let me give you a recap. It's sounding better now. Okay. Okay.
But my suggestion is if there's a video or a material, we can also use it to go through instead of maybe stressing you to go over and over and over. Because the issue is with the network. Yeah.
Yeah, even as you are trying to go back, yet it's still breaking. So if there will be a material, I think that will save you the stress.
Okay. I will want to work that. I will get the material. Immediately after this, you will get the material on the steps. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
I think it's happening with this data now, right? Okay, I can continue, right?
Yes, you can continue. Hit the enter button. Let's see.
Okay. So if I hit on the enter button, this is what is going to happen. If I go to read, if someone should mute him or her. Okay. Okay, so if I hit on the enter button, this is exactly what is going to pop out. Okay, this is a description of what I have in that my folder. Okay, as you can see, I have a receptor that is in PDBQT. I have a ligand that is in PDBQT, and I have some sinkers and all that. Okay, so it has already tried to give you a summary of what is inside that your folder. Okay, the software has been able to open that up and find out that they are all ready. Okay, if you get it to this point, it means you enter your commands rightly, and then you can continue. Okay, so I will continue from here. So from what you can notice on that, it has read out, and then at the bottom it provided another kind of command option again where you can now continue with what you're doing. This you just did is to ensure that your software is in good position, and then when you click it, you also make sure all the files needed are also here. So it has run that, and it has approved what we have done. So at this point, we will simply return our last command. Okay, we'll return our last command and conclude the command, and that is all. Okay, so to return the last command, you are going to click on the up arrow button, upper arrow button. Okay, in your keyboard there are 4 arrows. Okay, one of the arrow is upper arrow, the one pointing upward. So you simply click on the upper arrow, and it will help you to bring back the last command. It's very important at this point. So I'll simply click on the upper arrow, and it will bring back exactly that last command I have if I click enter. Okay, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. You click on the up arrow.
Yes. So you click on the upper arrow, and then it will bring up the last command which you did. Then at this portion, you are simply going to tap on space. Okay, you tap on space, and then you click your back or your forward slash. Okay, we click forward slash before, so you click on your forward slash. Remember the backspace, the space what you're going to create is going to be 2. Okay, you're going to create space, and then you backslash. Okay, let me go back again. Immediately you click on your upper arrow on the last option. Okay, the next thing is to click your space 2 times. Okay, and then click your equal to, Then you can now write your config space. Let me do like this. We don't need equal to for now. So you click double space and write your config. You click one space and write your word config dot exe. Okay. There's something that is in here. Something here. You click space. You click your you have your config. Okay, yeah. You have to click a single space. Please, I'll correct that in the file I'm going to send to you. You click a single space, and then you have to type 2 hyphens. Okay? You click 2 hyphens, and then you type config. Config, that is software. I'm trying to get this software. Open the config file. Okay? Open the config file, which has all the information in our for our docking process. Open the config file, which has all our information, including the protein, the ligand, and the coordinates. Open it here, and then go on with the rest of the command. So here we have to tap one space, and then we tap 2 hyphen, normal hyphen, not underscore, 2 hyphen, and then you can type config. Okay, this is a config file. You have to give a space and define the kind of config file it is. It is a config.txt file. Okay, it is a config.txt file. It means it's a text file. This config file is a text file. You need to, explain all this to these two so that you actually understand what you're saying. In case you have more than one config, then you need to define it very well. Okay, you have located the config file. However, after picking this config file, it's going to return this config file in form of an output file. Okay, after the docking, there is a particular result we are going to have. That particular result is in form of a log output, which has the binding energy or the binding scores. So at this point, we have located the config file that has what we want to dock. The next thing is now to ask the same config file after you must have docked what is inside, bring it out as a log file. Okay, we call that a log file. So this will be provided for you in the guidelines later. So after typing space bar to double hyphen, you type your config space and then config.txt. You also have to type space again and type double hyphen again, then type your log. Okay, you type your log, you give a space again. This log is going to be a log.txt file. Okay, this log is going to be as well what a log.txt file. Okay, I hope we are not lost yet. That is the end of the command here. Once we hit our enter button, the docking should comment if we got what we did right. So are we in any way confused in this instance before I hit the last enter button?
We are hearing you, sir.
Okay. So, like I said, just a quick recap. The first thing you do after you hit the first enter button and it's red down this, is to click your upper arrow. That will help you bring up the last docking command. After the last docking command, you hit your space button and then type 2 hyphens, okay, and then type config. Don't just type in the config, you have to give a space again and type config.txt, trying to tell us that this config is a text file. After typing config.txt, you give a single space again and click on 2 hyphens or double hyphens, and then type a log and give a space. Define the log as log.txt. The output at the end of this docking, a new file automatically is going to be generated, which is the log file. The log output is going to be generated and sent to your folder automatically. That folder will contain your binding scores, or what we call the binding affinity or energy. and all that, as we just mentioned yesterday, and all that. So if we follow to this point, the next thing I'll do is to hit my enter button, and we will see what happens afterwards. So I'll click on my enter button. If you are following me, as soon as I click on the enter button, it read out a little thing. The first thing is read out here is the Autodoc tool you are using. Yes, if you dock with an Autodoc tool, this information is as well going to be in the output file, the log file. You are supposed to reference this Autodoc beginner. This is the reference file. From what you can see, is already here. Okay. Okay, so if we look downwards, it has finished reading and it's already docking our file. If you can see what is reading from 0 to 100, that is docking. It's already doing that. Okay, you can see that it's almost 100. Okay, however, mine is fast because of possibly the kind of system I'm using. Okay, yes, yours might not be as fast as this. Oh, okay, yours might not be as fast as this, but it doesn't mean your docking is wrong. Okay. It doesn't mean your docking is wrong. It simply tells you you just need to give it a little time to get ready. Okay, so docking is complete. Docking is complete, and then this is the docking scores. Many of us may have come across this. This is the docking scores. You can see a binding energy of up to 9.8, which is quite high. Okay, this is what we call the binding energy, binding affinity. It's always represented in negative values and in units, kilocal per watt per mole. Okay, by default, this software will always provide you with about 9 different conformations of your protein, okay, of your interaction. That's the reason for this 9. You have up to 1 to 9 different values. However, the first is always referred to as the highest binding affinity or energy, and is always reported. Okay, so we have concluded the docking, and then it has docked. However, in case you finish your own line here, let me come up here. You finish your own line, this place that if you can remember here, I highlighted before I hit on the last enter button. Okay, in case you hit your own enter and then it gives you an error message. Yes, it's very, very possible. It might be that maybe you missed one of the space here, or you pressed 1 hyphen instead of 2, or you typed wrongly. Instead of typing config as in CON, you type COM. It will simply tell you that you couldn't find it. So it's not that you are wrong. You just have to calm down and make sure you type it correctly, and then you send. So by typing it correctly, this is what you are going to get. And this is the end of the docking. It has docked. Then the one very important thing is that immediately as this is being done here, immediately as this is being done, the new folders I told you, the new files, they are going to be sending 2 new files to your folder, not just one. It's going to be 2. One is for the docking score, which is going to come out as a log file, while the second file is going to come out as a Ligand all file. If you remember in our config file, there is a config, there is a portion of the config, the last one where we have out. Out means output. Is titled Ligand all, Ligand all underscore and all that. That other file is the second file that will be generated here. That one will contain the protein ligand interaction, which we are going to visualize later. Okay. By this point, we are only able to interact with our protein, and then this is our docking scores. I've mentioned 2 new folders will be added. The first one is the docking scores, just exactly what we have here. And the second one is simply the protein ligand interaction, the different 9 conformation or poses the ligand was able to make within the protein, just like we are seeing them here. Okay, so to confirm this, we have to go back to our tutorial document file. Okay, this is our tutorial document file. If we go to that file, like I mentioned, this log file, we never created a log file. This is the first log file that was created here. Immediately the docking is complete. So let's open this log file and see what is inside. Okay, if you're still following me, when you open this log file, you discover that what you have here is exactly what we had in that orthodox, interface. Okay, this is what we have here. This is our docking score, and then this is the reference of the particular tool, which is Orthodox Dinner we made use of. I mentioned earlier that if you dock with Orthodox Dinner, it's very, very important. They compose something that you must have to cite them because you use their tools. Okay, and then this is the binding image, which are very severe. Okay, from 1 to 9, corresponding to the different conformations you have. Similarly, in the same folder, if we go to the same folder, you discover that we have another folder which we call the Lingard All PDB50. Okay, the Lingard All is here as well. This Lingard All is the output. If you remember, we typed in our config. For instance, if I open this config file, which we prepare together, this is the Lingard All, which is the output of the output of the docking, and what is going to be found here is the protein ligand complexes into the different 9 poses or conformations our ligand was able to make inside the protein. So this is the result that was provided for us in the second folder that was added here recently automatically for us. So the next task we are going to be doing now is to open this and see those different 9 conformations of our protein ligand interactions and further visualization we're going to be doing. However, I might be surprised we might not be able to achieve that today. Let me pick our questions so that when we meet next, let's get this point for now. And then by tomorrow, we will continue with the visualization and customization for publication purposes and maybe pharmacokinetics analysis as outlined in our material given to us. Okay, we have said a whole lot already. So please let me hear questions. Remember, I promised us immediately we are done with this, we're going to provide us the material for the stepwise, docking command process we just did together. We're going to provide that as we requested earlier, just to help us catch up very quickly. But aside that, please let me hear if we're a bit confused at any point or questions we might have at this particular point. You keep us a sign and then you ask. Okay, Emmanuel, you can go ahead. Okay, it seems Emmanuel. Oh,
I don't have question.
Okay, you don't have. Okay, Esther. Okay, well, please ask your question.
Yesterday, sir, when you were cleaning the protein, you used another thing. Was it a fight job or one other thing to clean? But today, I used also dock. I didn't enter on time, so I don't want to sound contradictory. The auto dock, that wasn't the cleaning you did yesterday. You carried up over to auto dock and then started manipulating to manipulate for today. Or can auto dock do cleaning like yesterday tool you used?
Me and Dan I got your question clearly. Okay, what we did yesterday was cleaning, which you rightly mentioned. Okay, if we remove the water of crystallization, and the final message, like ligand and all that, that was cleaning we are doing. So we went ahead. One of us
from there, like from their team, will be here to guide us how to do that. What are the
Okay, thank you, Doc. Thank you so much. Doc is here too. Grateful to have you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so
It's glad
yeah,
to
yes,
meet you guys again. I just decided to breeze in. Let me see what you guys are doing.
sir. Oh, thank you so much, Doc. We are very, very grateful, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Doc, we are grateful. Thank you very much for showing up.
Sure. If
Your
there's
team
no
is ready.
problem, if there are questions you want me to help answer, I am available. Just let me know.
That'll be fine. That'll be
Thank you,
great.
Doc.
Thank you so much. Okay, Obiwelu, back to your question. Yeah, yesterday we cleaned the protein, okay, where we try to remove the
Okay,
water.
sorry for cutting you short. I'm sending the slide to Sarah because she's the one that emailed me. Sarah Aliano, yeah.
Okay.
Or you can send
Doc is
somebody
not only Sarah, all of us, we need the slide. Not only
Okay.
Sarah, please.
Yeah,
All of
okay,
us, we
somebody
need the
should-
slide.
Okay, maybe
Yes, sir.
somebody should give me one email that the person that can transfer it to everyone.
Okay. Doc, I will email you. I will email
Can't
you.
it transfer to all of us by email? Please,
Yes,
sir.
I will.
The material doesn't get missing on the way.
Okay, I will email Doc immediately after now. He will send that, or then I will send it to the platform immediately.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah. Just send me your email. Send me an email today, so I can reply from your email.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay, so your question yesterday, yes, we cleaned the protein. Okay, so today we simply prepared the protein further. Okay, by editing some components of the protein, such as adding of polar hydrogen ions groups, and then adding of charges and generation of grid box. Okay, which has the coordinate for our docking directions and all that. So it's not a repetition of what we did yesterday. Rather, we continued from what we did yesterday. Okay, we only cleaned our food yesterday, which is the co-crystallized water and the water crystallization, and then the co-crystallized ligand and all that. So today we continued, we went ahead. Now edit the protein by adding few other things that were missing because of structural illustration, such as polar hydrogen ion, charges and all that, and now generated box and continue to do something. So it's a continuation, not a repetition.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. I understand. What I actually wanted to know was that the tools you used yesterday.
Okay. Yes. The tool we used yesterday was Bovia Discovery Studio.
Yes.
Bovia Discovery.
And today was Autodoc.
Today was Autodoc too. Yeah, yesterday one is a different thing from today's one. However, you have all the tools. Yeah, you have all
both
the tools.
do different functions.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
For convenient purposes at this level, just use them that way instead of forcing one to do all for you. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Deborah, you seem to be raising your hand. Quickly. Let me hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the lecture. Maybe a follow-up to Esther's question. Please kindly let us know what each of the software does. What each of the software does.
Okay.
Then my own question is this. I have two questions. Number one, it's not clear. The link you copied while doing the coding. That link you copied, is it a link to the whole folder? Is it the link to the whole folder? It's not clear. I saw you copying a link. I tried looking to see which of the links you copied. Then lastly, on the output of the docking, you said 9.8, that it was a good score. So what's the range of the good score? And what range of scores will you get? And you will know that this protein and ligand does not have possibility or does not have good complex and good binding. So what's the range of the good score and the bad score?
Okay. 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 Thank you so much for your questions. Yeah, the first question was I trying to tell you the software for the different um, actions you'll be taking here. Okay, I will just tell you that for at this level, you could actually use these tools for a whole lot of purposes. Yeah, if you start, expanding your knowledge and if you discover that a singular tool could actually help you do a whole lot of things. Okay, but for the sake of this level, the material I'm going to be sending afterwards, I will indicate what each tool was used for. Okay, like using auto discovery tool for cleaning and then using Autodoc for preparation and all that. I'll provide that. Okay. And then secondly,
Okay,
you
thank
ask
you.
how, you ask how I copied the directory or the link you see me copying. Yes, what I copied is the link to the entire folder and it's always provided, it's called a directory, not just link, it's called a directory. Whenever you open a folder in your system, on top of that folder, okay, there is always a kind of directory where it will start from the local disk to your user, depending on how your system is, structured and all that. It's just like a directory, okay? So once you click outside the directory there, just within very close to that, once you click inside there, it will automatically highlight it. Okay, once you click it, automatically highlight that link. But if you didn't click, it will appear this way. So you just move towards the end of one, the last one, and just tap or click. It will highlight it automatically. So what you're highlighting is the entire link, the entire directory, not just for one. So it's for the entire folder. And you highlight that by just clicking close to the last file in that particular directory. Okay, then the last question you asked is what range of docking scores are considered good or considered high? Okay, the truth is the value for your docking score, okay, is greatly dependent, number one, on the nature of protein you are docking, and then secondly, on the nature of ligand or compound you are interacting the protein with. I told us earlier that the higher your compound composition, which is also determined by the number of rotatable bonds in it, the more complex structure your compound is, the higher it will receive interaction because it now has several groups that can interact. Okay, and the docking score is simply a product of interaction. Okay, so the higher more complex your compound, the higher the interaction. And then also on the protein aspect, the nature of the active site of your protein will also determine the docking score as well. If, for instance, your protein is a receptor kind of target, where the active site might be very shallow, okay, it might be very shallow, it might not be deep, like in acetylcholinesterase. If you will visualize this by tomorrow, you discover that acetylcholinesterase, the active site is inside, is deep inside the protein. So it tends to have a lot of options to interact with. As a result, it gives rise to a high docking score. However, just like I mentioned, in your own docking, you might end up, depending on the protein or ligand you're docking with, you might end up having 7.0 as the highest docking score. As the highest docking score. This is actually a product of the protein you are docking and the complex or the nature of the ligand you are docking that with. The more complex the ligand, the higher the possibility of having interaction. And the higher the interaction, the higher the binding score it can generate. So I'm kind of careful to tell you that docking score from 7 to 10 or from 8 to 12 is considered high is actually a product of your protein and ligand of interest. So any score, depending on what you have as highest, assuming you have up to 10 compounds you dock, and then you are now having 3 point something 5 point something, 7 point something, 6 point something, the highest being 7.5. It means that your 7.5 is considered high docking score there when compared to those giving you 3.5 or 3.0 or 4.0. So that is how you know which one has a high docking score or not. Not exactly whether is from this value to this value, but generally anything from 6.0, 7.0 upwards is considered high. But to a greater extent, is dependent on the type of protein and ligand you're docking. I hope you try to get what I'm trying to say here.
Yes, but if you have a mixture of very high values and very low values, like you have 9 points, but like the one we did, all of them, almost every one of them had very good value, high value. What if you have like 9 points, 8 points, and then you have like 2 points, 3 points? So what would be your interpretation for that?
Okay, yes. If you have such conditions, then you just consider from the highest down. If you're going for the 5 most or 5 highest scores, you simply count from the up. From what I said, the highest you have on the docking will simply tell you how best the docking score is going to look like or how high it's going to look like. If you have up to 9 points, then maybe you now drop 10 compounds, and at the end of that 10, you have about 4 that cross 8.0, or you have 5 that cross 8.0. It's trying to tell you that any docking score from 8.0 upwards is considered high when you compare to those below 5.0. Okay, so the result will actually tell you what's actually the nature of the docking score and which one should be considered high or not. And also, there is also another option to help you rate that properly, which is by docking or carrying out your docking with standard drugs. Okay, if you are doing a real research, okay, we don't just end up docking just your compound. You have to dock a standard drug along. For instance, this anti-diabetic effect we're investigating from our study, you must have to dock it with something like an Acarbose or Migritol. Acarbose is a very standard drug, well-known drug for in vivo anti-diabetic study investigation. So you can use Acarbose or Migritol. Migritol is another standard anti-diabetic drug, okay, to get that. Or to some, yeah, in most cases, this is what you can play. So the standard drug will now give you, an idea of what your plant extract or your toxin or whatever is actually doing. If the docking score from your extract is higher or some are higher than the standard drug, then it's a very good position to argue or to discuss that your plant actually have good therapeutic effect when further investigated against anti-diabetes and all that. I hope that answered you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Let me just make a little point there.
Okay.
Onyema.
Yes, sir.
So when it comes to when you have like a question she asked, when you have a series of docking and you have something like 9.1, okay, let me just say 9.1, 9.1. It's possible you can have docking score if you dock so many and you have 9.1, 9.2, 9.1, like very close range like that, and you have 8 point something. Another way to know the one that you can consider the best docked is to look at like what you said, what we call docking with internal ligand. So when you get a protein and you have an internally crystal structure of the ligand in the protein, you can do the docking of that particular one like a reference, like a control. So if you do that docking, you will see the amino acids that are attached to that particular ligand. So those amino acids, most of them bind by hydrogen bonding. Do you get it now? So, which is the active site. So you will now look at each of those docking scores are different entry, like 10. So those 10, you pick them one after the other. The first one that's having the highest, you pick that conformation, because they come as conformation. So you pick each of the conformation and analyze which of them binds appropriately to that active site. If the active site amino acid is aspartate 20, for example, out of that 10 different conformations, which one binds closer to that aspartate 20? How do you know that which one binds closer? You check the distance, they call bond distance. If the distance between your ligand, maybe the oxygen atom of the ligand and the nitrogen atom, which is hydrogen bonding of the enzyme, which is aspartate. So you check the bond distance. Which one is the bond distance closer? The stronger the bond distance, the stronger the binding. So if by the time you check it, it will help you to isolate which one is the best docked out of that from conformation. Sometimes I've seen situations where you have nine conformations and the best one is telling you is 9.1 and conformation 3 is showing 8.5. If you analyze the two of them very well, you will discover the one with 8.5 has a stronger hydrogen bonding compared to the one with 9.1. So that's why when I'm doing publishing, if they send a paper to me and I see that they did docking related, if I go straight to the docking and I ask the person question, the person cannot answer this. I've rejected like 2 papers like that because they just do docking and they say, okay, the highest one, the one with the highest binding energy is the one with the highest, the strongest, highest binding energy and strongest, which is not correct. What you look at is the amino acid residue, how it binds to that active site. Some of them, like I told you, when it comes to binding, some of them you can just do a docking, and instead of binding to active sites, it can be binding to another amino acid and be giving you 9.5, and it's not binding to the active site. It's like somebody coming to University of Nigeria and is discussing with the gate man when he's supposed to be discussing with the bossa. If he's discussing with the gate man, the interaction is very good. That is not what you want. What you want is for you to interact with the bossa. So if it's binding with the bossa, that is what you consider as the best interaction compared to the one that is binding somewhere else, even though it's giving you the highest binding energy. So what you look at is the highest binding energy and the one interacting with the hydrogen bonding too. So if 2 of them match, that's the best. I hope it helps.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Sam is here. Welcome to week.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc, for that insightful one again. Yeah, possibly because of our visualization tomorrow, we will lay a little bit emphasis on what Doc just pointed out. That's a very important observation as well. Okay, but when we do the practical aspect of that, we'll get to find out about it very well. Then thank you so much, Doc. Okay, do we still have a question remaining? Deborah, do you still have a question? Deborah, your hand is still raised. Do you still have a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. They have been taken care of. Thank you so much.
Okay, ma'am. So, do we still have anyone having a question? Yes, the answer. Okay. At this point, I think most of our questions have been attended to, and we have as well done a whole lot. Okay. At this particular point, so I will have to end this here while we go on and then lay our hands on what we plan to pass. They told us after now the materials and then the video recording from yesterday, including Doc's slides, is going to be made available to us on the WhatsApp platform. So feel free to go there and pick that and follow up very, very well. Don't keep this till next week or later. Try and follow up immediately. We can always attend to you if you have any questions on the WhatsApp page, okay? And then that will be taken good care of. So we will have to end it there, but before we do so, please, I would want us to put on our videos, our video camera, wherever we are. I want to take a selfie picture of all our attendants today. So please, yeah, please put on your notification, your camera. Let's capture where you are. So put on. Okay. Put on your cameras wherever you are. Put on your camera. Okay. Some people's camera is not. Tony, your camera is not on. Okay. Emmanuel. Okay.
Tony,
Deborah,
the
your camera is
brand.
on.
Yeah.
Esther, your camera is not on.
I'm trying to put it on, but I have my laptop on, sir. My face. Okay, you can see my face on the laptop. From the laptop.
Okay.
Why this is not doing?
Okay. Mama, you take it from there. Cover precise. You take the snapshot from there. Are you there? Okay. Cover.
Yeah.
Okay, you are taking it. Yeah. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for today. Yeah, the chapter has been read. Thank you so much for today, and see us working as we return to drawing board. In a very special way, thank you for making it as well. It was a great time hearing from you again. We hope to have you once again tomorrow, sir.
I also want to say special thanks to Dr. Ibeji. Thank you very much, Doc, for making our time to see us again and see how the thing is going. I do really appreciate it. I will hope to have you again tomorrow, the grand finale. Thank you very much, Doc.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. See us tomorrow. The rest of the materials that we mentioned will be sent to us after here. Thank you so much and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.